Fletcher. I'm Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform, and welcome to the iCERT November Member Update with George Kellerman, Executive Director from iCERT. Welcome once again, George. How are you doing?
Hey, doing great. Great to be with you. Thanks.
Wintertime is coming up quickly. What's going on for November?
Well, we just had a big election, right, for the congressional midterms and a whole host of other elections. And still don't know exactly how all the dust is going to settle, but we have a pretty good idea. I think regardless of how it all ends up shaking out, the majorities will be very, very narrow, one way or the other, in both the House and the Senate. So in some respects, not a lot of change from where we currently sit. Perhaps the jersey switch, as it were, but the actual functioning probably works much the same. So what it's looking like, if we had to kind of make a prediction, is the House probably flips to the Republicans with a very slim majority. And so the current minority leader, Kevin McCarthy from California, would become Speaker, and all the Republicans' ranking members would become the chairman or women of the various committees. So for us, I think from a personality perspective, it, probably not a lot of major shift. There may be some ideological priorities that some of them have that differ from the current chairs, but I think as far as the relationships and the personalities, we feel pretty good about that. And then on the Senate side, it may come down to Georgia deciding the Senate majority yet again, like we had the situation we had 2 years ago in 2020. So more of that should shake out in the next few weeks. But in the meantime, Congress is coming back for a lame duck session starting next Monday, November 14th. Work for a week. Most of that is going to be their organizational meetings, and if they know how things have shaken out as far as majority and minority, they'll start doing their internal elections, electing their various office holders, most of whom we know who they're going to be. Mm-hmm. And there may be some behind the scenes work on some of the legislation, because where things were left before the election is you've got a continuing resolution for government funding that expires December 16th. So they've got to put some work into figuring out what they're going to do post December 16th.
So I think this is the value of the iCERT side, right? I mean, the political side of this is a constant moving machine, and it's this huge chess game. We've got to maintain relationships on both sides at all times, and plan for any kind of outcome that's out there to make sure that the representation from our members is being represented properly. And it's not an easy task.
No, not at all. And you hit on a really good point, because not only in preparation for the elections, but it's just smart politics as an organization that represents such a wide swath of industry to build those relationships on both sides of the aisle. Because in the folks that we represent in technology and emergency response technology and public safety technology, most there's no R&D there. I mean, everyone wants good public safety. Everyone wants really good modern emergency response. At the end of the day, when somebody has a crisis or needs help, they want that response to come as soon as possible. So that cuts across all party lines. But from a perspective of our most important current issue, NG 911 funding, it also there's a segue there, because we had a really strong bipartisan bill move out of the House this summer, which includes NG 911 funding. And so that really helped in building those relationships. And not only that, but building that awareness and that support for our issue across party lines.
Yeah, and I'll go back to that. I mean, that's why it's important that we play both sides of the fence, so to speak, because who knows what's going to happen in any given election, right? And we've got to be positioned. So fortunately, that bill had great bipartisan support, and we're not really fighting any particular side one way or the other. That is probably going to be the biggest benefit to us. That's my opinion, at least.
No, I think you stated it very, very clearly there, and really correctly. That's absolutely true.
So we've got an event coming up that we've been talking about for a couple of months, getting close to the fall meeting in D.C.
That's right. So iCERT's fall meeting will be taking place in Washington, D.C., actually on Capitol Hill, on Wednesday, December the 7th. So it's going to be very timely for a lot of reasons. We'll be right in the middle of the lame duck session. We'll be 9 days out from the end of the current CR. So there'll be a lot. We feel like it'll be a pretty interesting time, and a lot of major decisions may be being made there, including hopefully further work on NG 911 funding, which is now over in the Senate and being worked on by the Senate Commerce Committee, who we've been in active touch with, along with many of our stakeholder partners throughout the last few months, and we'll continue to be. And in fact, we're looking at having some of those representatives, both members and staff, join us at different times throughout the day on December the 7th to talk about, not only the current issue and what the prospects are, but also looking ahead, given the outcome of the elections, looking ahead to next year, next Congress, on other important issues, or perhaps if it turns out NG 911 funding spills over into next Congress, then really starting that work and hitting the ground running early.
So let me ask you, do we have any confirmations of any of our friends showing up?
We have a couple, yeah. So,
anyone you care to mention?
Well, let's put it this way. Folks can go to the iCERT website and look at the agenda, which we update daily as we get confirmations. But we feel like we're going to have some good representation there. And obviously we'll be on the Hill, so it'll be an opportunity if some of our members want to stick around and go and make some visits while they're there. You're right across the street. Be a great opportunity. So the timing, I think, couldn't be better, and hopefully it'll work out that way.
You can tell me, George. I won't mention it to anybody.
Well, we hear that Senator Klobuchar might drop by, and there's a couple of other hot prospects as well. So
that's the rumor that I heard. And you know what? Senator Klobuchar has been very, very proactive. He's one of the big friends of 911 industry, and very proactive. So that's not a surprising name to hear. And best of luck. And I hope you get some people that make that effort. We're going to be right there on the Hill. It's going to be easy for them to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So it should be a great meeting. Obviously, some of the focus will be on what's trending right now on Capitol Hill, but also looking ahead to the future, into next Congress, other emerging issues. We've got some other great speakers from across local, regional, federal level agency folks that are very engaged in the work that the 911 community and the emergency response community works in every single day. So it should be great conversations.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks a lot for providing the November update. Very exciting, and look forward to talking to you next month.
Sounds great. Thanks, Fletch. Appreciate being with you.
All right. Take care.